Hi, my name's Rebecca Ginn and I'm the Maths Lead for Foundation Stage here at Horizon International School. In response to our parent survey, we wanted to give more information on how we teach maths in Foundation Stage, the kind of strategies that we use and also the resources. I'm hoping you find this presentation helpful. The aims of this meeting are to develop parental awareness of how maths is taught in school, to explain the different concepts used in school to teach maths, and to provide activities and opportunities for parents to develop their children's math skills and knowledge at home. Topics covered during this meeting will be the breadth and depth of number, Numicon, loose parts, the part-whole method, partitioning numbers for place value, and number resources to use at home. We'll begin by talking about the breadth and depth of number. At Horizon, we focus on teaching the breadth and depth of number. It is important that children have a solid understanding of each number that goes beyond the numeral and quantity. We look at each number and how it can be differently represented. You can see here on this slide some of the different ways that 5 can be represented. The numeral 5, 5 stars that can be counted. Each star has 5 points. A 5 dirham note, a pair of gloves that show double 5, an addition fact and a subtraction fact. There are many more ways that the number 5 can be shown and taught. By breaking down each number, children will gain a solid understanding of not only that number, but how it fits in the number system, its relation to other numbers, and how maths is used in everyday life. By teaching numbers in this way, children grasp concepts such as one more, one less, addition, subtraction, partitioning, and early multiplication and division much easier, as they can explain how the numbers relate to each other. In Foundation Stage, we have a resource called Numicon, and we use it to develop children's mathematical skills. It's a practical resource and it can be easily manipulated by the children. The holes are finger-sized, which makes it easy to count, and the pieces are scaled to the number value. For example, 2 5s are the same size as the number 10. Numicon is a visual resource. The different colours enable children to instantly recognise the numbers and use them in their play. The Numicon can be used on the baseboard, which are the white boards in the picture above, to create number bonds, patterns, and pictures. Numicon is weighted, so for example, a 5 Numicon would weigh the same as 5 individual ones. This enables children to explore concepts such as one more, one less, and also to check their own calculations. As well as number bonds, children also learn number facts. They can learn number doubles and halves, as well as work out multiplication problems by adding together the same numbers repeatedly. Numicon develops children's mathematical language. At Horizon, we focus on the child using maths talk to explain their understanding. When using Numicon, they can talk about how they know that double 4 is 8, because if you take 2 4s, it is the same size or weight as the Numicon 8. In Foundation Stage, we have many loose parts materials that are used across the curriculum and especially in maths. Loose parts have a variety of natural resources. It could be anything from lolly sticks to leaves to pine cones to cardboard tubes. Natural resources not only give children a connection to the natural world, but they also enable the resources to be completely open-ended. Loose parts can be used to develop counting, calculation and pattern-making skills, as well as introduce concepts such as weight, capacity, shape and measure. Children will naturally play and develop their own mathematical problems with the loose parts. Through this, we can drop in teachable moments at the child's age and stage. For example, a child might be making patterns with the objects and counting them. If their target is to know one more, they can explore this through extending their pattern using more objects. If their target was to recognise numerals, then this could be introduced into their play. Your pattern has 7 objects. Can you find the number 7? As the loose parts are open-ended, children will naturally use them to role-play and make up stories and games. This enables links to real-life maths. Leaves could become tickets for a show, pine cones could become cupcakes at a party. Through this, we now have teachable moments about money and sharing. The part-part-whole method. In foundation stage, we introduce addition and subtraction using the part-part-whole method. This method enables children to physically see and manipulate the objects to work out addition and subtraction problems. Initially, children will use a mat, circles, or a drawn part-part-whole diagram when using the method. As they become more confident, they will begin to visualize the process. During the short video on the next clip, I will show you the part-part-whole method and how we use it in class or how you could use it at home. Here we can see the part-part-whole method. I've got two mats here. First, we're going to look at 3 plus 4. Put 3 objects on one side, that's one part, and 4 objects on the other side, that's the other part. We then move the objects together to make the whole number, which is 7. We can also do it the other way round, so 4 objects plus 3 objects, move them together to make the whole is 7. We can also use part-part-whole for subtraction. Here I'm starting with 7 minus 3. I've got my 7 objects and we take away 3 for one part. This then leaves the other part, which we can see is 4. The same if I start with my 7 objects and I would take away 4 of them. That leaves the other part, which is 3. In foundation stage, we focus on the teen numbers and their place value before moving on to larger numbers. Children learn how many tens and how many ones are in the number and what each digit represents. When talking about teen numbers and beyond, we refer to the number as how many tens and ones it may have. For example, if we were to talk about the number 12, we would say it was having 1 10, that's the one at the beginning, and 2 extra ones. We can then go on to talk about if I add 1 extra 1 to the number, it would be 13. If I added an extra 10 to the number, it would be 22. Here you can see the progression of teaching partitioning for place value. We start on the left using the tens frames. The children can see when putting the objects in the frame that once the 10 frame is full, they will need to go on to an additional frame for the extra ones. Following this, they can use the Numicon. Children will recognise the 10 piece and then can make the whole number using the additional 2. They can also use the base 10. This shows the 10 as a bar and the 1 as a single cubes. 10 cubes would be the same length as a 10 bar. These can be easily adapted into using a drawn line and single dots to represent the numbers on paper. Once a child is confident with place value, they'll easily be able to describe numbers just by looking at them and say how many tens and extra ones. This can also be used in everyday maths when looking at money. Through this meeting, I've explained some of the main concepts and how they're taught in school. To finish the presentation, I'm going to give you some ideas of resources that you can use at home to support your child's maths learning. The first one is numeral cards. These can be handmade with your child. Talk about how the numbers are formed and use them when playing. You can also use number magnets. Your child will have many small toys that can be counted or sorted. Encourage your child to talk about the similarities and differences, taking into account colour, size, pattern, shape. This could be a great game at tidy up time. For example, put all the toys that have wheels in the red box and the ones that have more than 2 legs in the green box. A range of mark-making materials is great for developing skills across the curriculum, and especially maths. Through painting, drawing, Play-Doh, cutting and sticking, children can develop their knowledge of patterns, shapes, measurement, as well as developing their fine motor skills. Finally, your child needs to say how we as adults use maths in our everyday lives. Encourage your child to help you when cooking. Show them the numbers on the recipe, talk about the quantity needed, discuss sharing when dividing mixture between baking cases. When in the supermarket, talk about the cost of the items and the quantity needed. You can also spot numbers all around you, buttons in the lifts, car registrations, door numbers. You can also listen to the satellite navigation system in the car, talk about the directional language and the numbers used for exits or a distance before a turn. Children love water play, and we're lucky to live so close to beaches and pools. Talk about the capacity of different sized containers and use language such as full, empty, half full, nearly empty, etc. These are just a few ideas which I hope will be useful at home. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope you found it helpful and it's given you an understanding of how we use maths in school and some ideas for you to support your child at home. If you have any comments or questions, please do come and see me or send me an email. Thank you for your time.